G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 11 of my cold dual-wielding Reaper playthrough. Last episode we finished up Ashes of Malmouth, we killed Theoden, we did the Black Iron Docks, all the fun stuff you do in Malmouth. We then came down to the Ancient Grove and did not a whole lot of it, but we went in there, we talked to Vinelton, we bought the blueprints for the Shard of Baronath here, and also for the Prismatic Diamond. What else do we do from there? I think that's pretty much all the important stuff. Oh, we crafted the Death Chill relic as well. Having the Shard of Baronath frees up our relic slot to no longer need to use the Troll Rage default attack replacer. So Death Chill was just kind of the best cold-ish kind of relic that I had available. Whatever goes there is honestly going to be down to what you have available. You could buy Glacier from the merchant in the Steelcap district from Haron, but just replace it with something kind of cold related, or if you would prefer, you can get one of the relics that give you +1 to Nightblade skills. That would also be quite good. For today's episode, in between, I went and I bought the Homestead Writ here. I just check at the start of every episode here, you know, who am I honored with? Do I have the writs for them? I do for pretty much everybody else, and so that's kind of it. I didn't have the Homestead one yet. I've now got it, so I've eaten that, and today we're going to be doing Forgotten Gods. Now, there are two monster infrequent items that are, let's not say crucial to the build, but they're going to help a lot. Both of them will be converting our vitality damage, of which we have a somewhat decent amount of it, but all that vitality damage will be converted to cold because of these two MIs, or at least a large chunk of it. Maybe all is a little bit ambitious, shall we say, but a lot of it will be converted, and that's kind of why we're doing it. The downside, of course, is one of those items comes from the Tomb of the Heretic, which is a quest-locked skeleton key dungeon that we're going to have to get access to, which means we're going to have to do the unlock quest for that, which I'm actually going to do kind of as we find it. But you can do it at the end if that's your preference, whatever tickles your pickle, really. Right, who did we side with? It was Bismail. So let's eat our conversation pie here, pick up all of our quests, and be on our way. Now, the first part of the Forgotten Gods expansion is somewhat anticlimactic. There's nothing you really need to do in this first section aside from get to the next section. So, one of the great things about Nightblade is that it has a really good built-in movement skill. Let's go ahead and kill Old Mate here because he's made out of reputation. So you get Shadow Strike, and then you use your movement rune, which you can get from Forgotten Gods. You can buy one from any of the faction vendors to get you another one. And then you can do a lot of very fast covering of ground. So that was level 58 as well. Also, just going back to the gear from a second ago, I'm looking out for gloves mostly at the moment. Now I'm checking here for any kind of hero-type monsters, but I'm not really seeing any, and honestly I'm not interested in killing all that, as much as it is all made out of XP. We do have to do... Are we going to do the temple? Yes, we are. There's a devotion shrine in there, so yes, we're doing the temple. So we'll be doing the Temple of Osea, getting that devotion shrine. We don't actually have to finish the temple, but, I mean, you're already going to be close to the finish, so it's kind of a you may as well sort of thing. Then from there we'll be getting the other devotion shrine from the hidden little gorge thing at the back. Oh, hello. Rygundir. Some of the names on these are... Let's just call them interesting. Totem here, I'm going to do that for sure. Alright, let's pop that. And Ill Omen, make sure your Ill Omen's up. The damage reduction on it is actually really useful, especially seeing as how it just lost something like 20 or 30% physical reduction from gear swaps. So I'm pretty keen to mitigate that a little bit. Our skill points are all just going straight into the bar. We could have a look here if there's anything here we want. I mean, we could go and get Bone Harvest and put 1 point in Dread. It does give us a chance to confuse now, but honestly, I think the best thing we can do is just push the bar. Once we get access to Soul Harvest, our damage is really going to take off. So I'm quite looking forward to that. And like I said, we can skip a lot of this stuff here. Don't have to. It's all worth XP. I guess I didn't really skip it, did I? That's fine. Here we go. So here's the Temple of Osea Rift, and we're going to go inside. Now, as I said, you don't actually have to do the Temple of Osea, but there is a devotion shrine in here. And also the Blood of the Watchers, you can get some in here as well. So I think it's only... Is it Soleil you actually have to do this place with, I think? And then for the other two witch cults, it's just kind of a good idea. Now, I am going to be running around here. I'm looking for stars on the map. I'm halfway expecting 1 or 2 on this top level. But it's been a while, so I don't actually remember exactly where they are. So I'm just going to kind of have a bit of a run around. I have a feeling they're going to be over here, so let's head back down there. Also, a pretty good chance that there's a totem in here, so I'm going to be keeping my eye open for that as well. There's one of my watches. The pretty big downside, I guess, of this is that these big guys, they have some pretty hard-hitting attacks, so if you don't dodge it because of Shadow Dance, it's really going to mess you up. And if you get, let's say, 4 or 5 of them because you've just been running through stuff, or maybe you spawned a bunch extra because of that, then they can really, really mess you up. Alright. Just the one watcher here, it looks like. I'm going to poke my head in here. There can sometimes be a... I think it's a treasure trove here, but there's definitely something that can be there. Let's just go ahead and get some XP here. We are absolutely tearing these things to shreds. I mentioned in the last episode that I was surprised by how not squishy this feels. And I think the reason for it is that we just do enough damage that nothing really lives long enough to seriously threaten to kill us. That was one thing that I did notice about the Spellbreaker, was once I stopped trying to make it a caster and swapped over to melee, which granted only happened at level 100, but it felt considerably tankier once I could just hold left click and kill something. So previous to that, I had been using Amarasta's Blade Burst, and I had been using Chosen Sky Shard, and so between those are both cooldown spells, so you fire them off and then you just kind of have to run around and wait for the cooldowns to come back. And during that period where you're waiting for cooldowns, everything still gets to hit you. Like, they don't have to wait for their cooldowns, they just keep swinging. So I think that's a big part of it. Having the lifesteal from just every attack you do is also quite good. Okay, I'm checking here for a treasure trove that doesn't exist, and hopefully it'll be in this next room. Not the end of the world if I don't get it, but I would like to get it. I do enjoy loot. There's another watcher here. So we can take care of these guys. The other thing about this build is all of the weapon pull skills are just constantly firing. So even when I was not using a default attack replacer, still would just have AoEs going off constantly. So really starting to enjoy this build. It seems like it's really taking off, or taken off around level 50 or so. So pretty happy about it, actually. It is another just hold left click and obliterate the screen kind of build, but it's effective. Alright, so at this point I could just leave. Like I said, I've got the devotion shrine that I came in here for. But the boss is right here, so we may as well. Free lore note for some extra XP. And here's the boss. And there goes the boss. Now there's no quest item in here obviously, but more loot. More loot, more better. Alright, so we head outside here. There's another quest to do. There's the hidden, I guess we'll call it a gorge, hidden area at the back here as well, which has another devotion shrine. We've got this rotting corpse. I don't know why this rotting corpse is so good, but it's basically a hidden stash loot. So we'll take that. This little hidden refuge, I guess it is. This little hidden area, you get to it from here. This is where the rift gate is. So you can just walk up here through this little gap and come down here. Now there's the devotion shrine here, which is just pay is it a shell? Yeah, a battered shell. Pay 1 shell, get 1 devotion point. There's also this loot up here, this body. Don't know who he was talking to or guarding or whatever, but he's gone now. And then just over here, there is this urn cluster, which has a guaranteed purple ring. Now, if you get this at level 10, it's going to be pretty good. 24% elemental resist, having just finished Act 1, is decent. Or I guess you would be level 16 to 20. But basically, that ring is good if you are low level, and if you are not fresh out of Act 1 or giving this to one of your characters as a twink, it's not good. It's really not good. What we could do, we could wear this helmet. I'm not going to because I want the cold damage to pneumatic burst, but this helmet would be an okay stopgap. This probably would have been good to get back in, episode 3 or whenever I finished Act 1. Reaping Strike, obviously, being this one here. Having thought about what I just said for another couple of seconds, don't use that. You would need to be a necromancer to make use of that, and we don't want to be necros until after we've joined the Claimant's Chosen. So just ignore everything I just said, but that would be a pretty good helmet if we didn't need to do that. So I've come down here. There is often a totem just here. I was planning on doing it, but obviously it's not there. Instead, we'll just send these Soleil's aspirants back to town, and we'll be on our way. Oops. Managed to evade into a wall and go nowhere, which is always fun. Let's see if I can just kind of dash down here. There is also occasionally the totem will be here as well, so it's there, obviously do it. More loot, more XP. Totems are amazing. I'm also going to poke my head up here, because I have it in my head that there's something here. Now, I've checked this place in the last 3 or 4 characters, and it's not been there. So actually, let me just check the map here. I've got the map on my other screen. Let's head down to, let's say, Corvin Oasis. There we go. That is actually one of the potential spawn locations of the Corvin secret chest. So, I was correct, but also, it's incredibly rare, so, yeah, good luck. Alright, Exalted Stash just over here. This one seems like it's always here. I haven't checked. It may have another spawn location, but it seems like every time I come here, this Exalted Stash is here, so I just come this way now and pick up my free blue item that I then sell. But, maybe you'll get something good out of it. Also, I need to check gloves here. Now, the Touch of the Ever-Living Grove are actually pretty good. Really good armor for their level. Okay health and regen, but it's really that healing proc that carries them. Unfortunately, their resistances are, basically non-existent. So I am kind of looking to replace them. I would like to replace them with something that has resistances on them. This one wouldn't be horrible. The thing is, if I lose any kind of any kind of elemental resistance. I'm going to be uncapping fire, so I don't want to lose elemental. So I'm kind of looking for a pair of gloves that have elemental resistances. And I think ideally I want something like, is it warded that does basic aether resistance? And then of the Winter Storm is, ideally what I want. Probably I'm not going to get that, but it would be nice. Totems sometimes here as well. Having weird luck with the totems. I'm thinking maybe I've already seen them, and I just killed them and moved on and then forgot about it. Which definitely does happen. Alright, so we are coming up, actually, on one of the first places you want to pay attention to. And these two griffin statues is where it is. So I'm going to drop a rift here, and we're going to continue on until the next rift gate. But if you'll notice, there's this nice little hidden canyon here. And we are going to go in there because that is part 1 of 3. Which I think it's technically part 2. But it's one of the 3 pieces that you need to get into the Skeleton Key dungeon. So we're going to go in there and get that. But first, I have a big nasty dinosaur to kill. So here's the Corvin Titanovore. He's going to sunder me. And I'm just going to kind of knock out. There he goes. Down he goes, give me the loot, and we'll be on our way. Generally speaking, if you want to avoid him, you want to hug or you want to, not so much hug, but you want to go this way. Heading up and to the right is how you find the Corvin Titanovore, who is, he's a boss. He is a boss, but he is 100% avoidable, and honestly, if your build's any good, you should just be able to kill him. Okay, we've made it to the Corvin Sands, and I'm now going to go back to my rift. And we are going to go in here and collect part 1 of 3, or the first piece of 3, for the seal that will open the Tomb of the Heretic. Now, as with a lot of stuff in here, most of this you don't have to kill. Don't go up there, that's actually the exit. You can't go in the outdoor. And there will be no jokes made about that statement. Let's head on into the Forlorn Bastion. So there are treasure troves in here, there are bosses, there is actually a decent amount of lore notes in here. These are actually pretty good to read, so I forget if it was these ones or the other ones you find at various points throughout Forgotten Gods, but the Tomb of the Heretic was locked away, sealed away, for a reason. And I think it's these lore notes, but it might be another set. The lore notes in the Forgotten Gods section basically detail why it was locked away, what happened to cause it. They also have a lot of lore notes surrounding the 3 witch gods, kind of how they started, how they became a thing, and how they more or less usurped Korvac's power. So the lore around Forgotten Gods is pretty good in my opinion. The downside, I guess, for some people is you have to go find it. They're not just going to do the whole Diablo-style scrolling text at the top of your screen with a voiceover. You actually have to go find it. You have to read the lore notes, and you have to find the lore notes as well, which for some people is a plus, because it gives you a reason to go poking into all the little corners of this place. And for a lot of people it's a minus because they don't want to do that. They just want to get to level 100 and kill monsters. So, up to you which one you prefer, obviously. I quite like the leveling process and the campaign. But a lot of people just want to get to the end of it. And that's fine. That's how they want to play the game. Alright. Got Plagueurius here. That's Darth Plagueurius the Wise. Unfortunately, it was a tragic tale. And he's no longer with us. Anchorite's headgear again. Seem to be seeing that an awful lot. Also picked up a piece of formidable gear, which Stonehide's pretty good too. Where is it? Formidable, that's a chest piece. More armor, more phys res. Elemental, which I like, but Pierce and Bleed, which I can't really afford to lose the bleeding. And I don't gain anything from the damage on that, so the of Decay on that is worthless to me. I'm going to not wear that. It would be a side grade at best, I think. The increased armor and physical resistance would be nice, but uncapping one of my resistances is not really something I want to do. Let's go ahead and read this. For anyone who wants to watch it, you can pause and also pro tip, if you're on YouTube, you can use the less than and greater than, or the period / full stop button and the comma button to advance one frame at a time. So if you wanted to go back and watch that or read that lore note, that's one way you can do it. Alright, so here's Jarenthor the Sandstorm, and yeah, he's not really relevant. Jarenthor at level, I guess it'll be level 90-ish. When he's level 94, we'll drop, or just before, we'll drop his own personal purple MI, which I actually can't remember what it does, but he has an MI. Only drops from him. The other thing is we just picked up the first piece, the second seal of Morgoneth. So that's 2 out of 3, or the first piece out of the 3 we're going to have to collect. There's no point running out of here now, we just rift over to the Corvin Sands. Actually, before we do that, let's head back to town. We've got some quests to turn in, but also I want to do some playing around with my devotions, and my bags are almost full anyway. So, let's go ahead and vendor all of this stuff. I'm not even really going to look at most of this. The rings I will. I do have some nice rings kind of in waiting, but they are level 60, and I have resistance problems now. Leovinus ring is really good if you're going to give it to an alt at level 10, 15% ult damage, 24% elemental resist, especially if you get 2 of them, is really good. By the end of Act 1, you should have better than this, and I mean, by the time you can get this ring on a character, it's past the point where you should be using it. Unless you're deliberately using it in order to get that 3% bonus XP, it's not a good ring. Alright, what do we got here? Bleeding and Elemental. Could be good. I kind of want some Aether as well. So let's just get rid of these. Oh, those 2 gloves, I don't think I checked those. Gloves, what do we got? Mighty of Kings. I mean, double rare. Aether Chaos and Bleeding Resistance. That's not bad at all. Armor would be about half. The Aether Resist would actually cap me on Aether. Spirit and Health is really nice. Bleeding Resist +2 to Ring of... I'm not actually using Ring of Steel. I think we sell that one. That was tempting though. Alright, let's chuck that in there. I've got 1 extra. I'm not going to do Bismail on later difficulties. What you can do though is collect this. Let's say you get 4 or 5 of these. You can exit to main menu, come back in, go do that temple again, get another 4 or 5. As soon as you've got 9 of these, once you get to the Conclave of the 3 in Elite or in Ultimate, you can join Bismail and just instantly turn this quest in. So you can bank them. Oh, I'm using that one for this character. You can bank them and just instantly complete the quest on higher difficulties if you want to. Personally, I've kind of started doing 2 different Witch God cults just so I don't have to grind XP or reputation for quite as long. But unless you do Elite as well, it's kind of pointless. So, you know, whatever seems good to you. Okay. Same for this one as well. So we're going in here to kill Galfang, who was a big bad doggy at the end of it. And we're going to take his biscuits away. But you can kill him and then exit to menu, come back in, kill him again, and get the quest item again, as long as you have put the first one into your stash. And so you can basically skip the first half of Forgotten Gods in Elite and Ultimate, if you want to.
That skill's not ready.
like I said, I've kind of stopped doing that. Not because it isn't easier to get through, but you'll end up being revered with Bismail, and the other two cults will kind of be standing there shrugging their shoulders, going, you know, Ixnay who? Never heard of them. So you'll have to grind more, but it's kind of a doesn't really matter thing anymore to me. Because if you don't do it on Elite, then you've still got one of the cults shrugging their shoulders and saying, who are you? And you still have to grind the same amount. Alright, we're nearly at the end here. You can see Galfang as a star on the map there. So he's going to come over here any second. And we're going to hit him with the old Ill Omen. And then we just blow him up. Galfang's Core, Eldritch Essence, pretty good. If you're ever hunting for Eldritch Essences, by the way, this is not a bad place to come to get them. This is not a long run for, I think he's 15% chance to drop, which doesn't sound like much until you realize that most other monsters are like 2 to 3%. Alright, what does Bysilla need? And we are going now to, where is it? Speak to Bysilla at the Vanguard of the Three. So,
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Uh-huh. Basically, the first part of Forgotten Gods is now done. Speak with Kaisen. That is going to be not him. Kaisen is going to be over here. We haven't done Anax Brothers yet, but Kaisen's idiots have indeed been found, and we can get another one of his quests done. How can I help? I'll see what she says. Maurice, about Ricard, this is creepy, give him a chance, I'll speak with him. It's about Maurice, you need to stay away from her. Okay, I was thinking that might have been a hidden quest. It's not. Let's go do the, I've had that little dialogue interaction before, and I couldn't remember the outcome, so I just figured I'd click through it to find out. Okay, we're going to fight these guys. They have proven their worth, and they can stay. What happens if you tell them to go away? I'm actually not sure. It's been so long since I did that I can't remember. But when you turn it in, get some XP and such. Okay, we are never doing the Ancient Grove. So this is really going to bother me until I fix it. So I'm going to fix it, and then next episode, it's going to be back. So we go to the Codex, we go up here to Quests, and then Cleanse the Corruption. Just click on that little thing, and it's gone. And the next time I enter the game, it'll be back. Actually, as long as I'm doing that, I may as well get rid of... where's the other one? Nope, never mind. It's already done. Because we already did the Steps of Torment for the medal. Right. Let's bank this stuff and be on our way. So, next step, Corvin Sands here. Now, this is the Corvin Docks. And inside the Corvin Docks, there are, I think, 1 or 2 totems. There is also a treasure trove, if you can find it. I usually don't find it. And honestly, it's got so many spawn points that are so spread out, I don't actually think it's worth going to find them. But there's also a decent number of lore notes in here. And see my earlier spiel about lore notes and why I enjoy them, or just, you know, free XP. Depending on whether you agree with me that it's fun or not. Okay, Captain Freinhol's log. Bunch of stuff to kill. We're basically heading to the top left of the area. In the top left there's also a... it's kind of cut off from the rest of the area, so if we just head along this wall here, you'll see there's stairs that go up, and there's this wall that kind of continues along. We want to get over that wall, or through that wall, and the easiest way is just here. And then we want to go to the top right corner, because Desecrated Shrine, Devotion Shrine. So we'll go in there, we'll kill that, or we'll reclaim it, I guess. Re-devote it to, who are these devoted to? Who cares? Free character power. Not to mention XP and loot. So we're always going to do these. This is the trio, one of which is a healer that I always hated. Especially on low damage builds, this can just turn into a never-ending fight. Especially if you get 2 of them that are healers. Alright, devotion points are done, and I seem to remember saying I was going to play with my devotion points a little bit. I'm definitely going to do that. However, let's just have a quick look where we're up to. I do need to get my hands on the hawk, but I think we're going to start on the Chariot of the Dead here. And I'll mess around with devotions at a later point. I do want to get rid of the was it the Jackal and the Sailor's Guide? But I can't remember if I need to use those to get a different devotion first. So I'll have to check that out. I should have done that between episodes, but you know me. Alright, we're going to make our way along the top here. It doesn't have to be along the top. You can head back south now if you want, but I'm just kind of heading in the direction of the next rift and holding left click on things that look like they need to have their HP totals reduced to 0 and be unsubscribed from living. Okay. Again, just heading south. This area here, Opulent Chest, I want to say there can be a treasure trove in there, but I can't actually remember. This is one of the areas that I'm aware has a treasure trove, but also it's so huge and spread out, it's just not worth looking for them. If you check the places you remember, if you walk near them, great. But if you want to hunt treasure troves, this is not the place to do it. Alright, we also have to go back this way now and do Anax Brothers. Phrasing. Do the Anax Brothers quest. Because, I mean, if nothing else, even if you don't care about the XP from the quest, which is decent, but there's other places you can get XP. There is a devotion shrine in there, which I want to hit up because I like devotion points. There's also Exalted Stash, there's Treasure Trove, there's all kinds of good stuff in there. And Reputation is probably the biggest point in favor of doing this quest. I think this one gives you Bismail Reputation, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Alright, let's stop killing mindless automated suits of armor and let's actually head in. So Anax sent me, let's go downstairs. Now the boss of this place, I have to mention, because he has killed me many, many times, do not Shadow Strike into his face. And no, I'm not going to show you why. By this point in the game, it's probably actually fine to take a shotgun blast to the face. It probably won't kill you. But if you're coming here straight out of Act 1, if you Shadow Strike him, you will die before the Shadow Strike animation finishes. Ask me how I know. I had him kill, I think, at least like 2 or 3 of my Nightblades before I worked out that he was doing a shotgun attack straight off the bat. And so I would just Shadow Strike straight into this shotgun, this cold shotgun, and just instantly get sent back to character select. Having said that, I also didn't learn the game on softcore. I just jumped straight into hardcore, and I probably wouldn't recommend it. Although you definitely can. Okay, I'm just going to check over here. No, I'm not. It's blocked. Let's go downstairs. Yeah, so, funny story about this boss. That was it. I don't have another funny story. But, yeah, I really, really think that's kind of funny. But hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes and not have to make them yourself. Especially if you're playing in hardcore. You're going to know one of the things not to do. Right, let's pop this and otherwise be on our way. Now I'm going to keep putting points into the chariot here. Also, I want to check actually how many. This is 5 purples and 3 greens, so this is red and blue. So we could just take those points out, finish this. I'm going to do it live. After that, we want the crab here, for which we would need to take the empty throne and then straight into crab. I think I can actually just take those points out. So let's just do it. Let's just do it. We'll have a nice laugh about it afterwards. There's no spirit guide in Devil's Crossing anymore. Sardina's dead. Yeah, so if this comes back to bite me later, then we can all have a nice laugh about how much of a noob I am. But for now, I want those devotion points back. So, Begala here, the spirit guide. Bingo, bango, bongo. Take those back. Oh, we still need this for Rumor. Okay. How many points do we need for Rumor, actually? So we need 3. And we have 5. Rumor is complete. So actually, I can spend 1 point in red. And then take these 3 out. Now, I'm pretty sure I don't need red for anything else aside from Rumor. So, once I complete the Chariot, I will actually get 2 red points. So Chariot of the Dead, really good for offensive ability. It also has a heal at the end of it. This is going to be similar to the Of the Grove proc. Obviously, without it being leveled up, it's nowhere near as strong, but it is still quite good. As always, spend the points to get the proc first, and chuck that on any buff that's permanent. So Veil of Shadow, that's permanent, we'll chuck it on there. And then I'll finish the Constellation and take my red point back. From there, we're looking at the Leviathan, which is the tier 3 cold devotion. And I'm also kind of tempted by Amatok here. Now, I don't really have a great skill to put the storm on. Maybe on Ill Omen. I don't think I'm using Ill Omen for anything, so I definitely could do that. But I'm actually okay with the amount of damage I'm doing at the moment. So I'm going to start on Empty Throne here. So this is Chaos and Aether resistance, crowd control resistance. Empty Throne is a good generic, I need purple constellation for pretty much any build. So we're going to go ahead and get that. Also, the Wayward Soul over here, when you get hit, it just has a chance to restore health. It also gives you some armor and defensive ability, so this is a pretty good defensive proc on a very nice offensive kind of constellation. So I'm pretty happy with that node, or with that entire constellation actually. As long as we're in town. Let's. Whoa! Oh no! Oh no! What did I do? What am I missing? Idiot. Okay. Check for components. All right. I think we're good. All my gear has components on it. Every slot has a piece of gear in it. I think we're okay. What was I just saying about being a noob and letting everyone have a good laugh at my expense? There you go. You're welcome.
I'll keep an eye on this.
Okay. Right. Let's head back to where we were. So, back down here into the ruins. And we've got our devotion now. Spent all the points. Lovely. Got a nice new heal proc that's leveling up. Like I said, when you first get it, it's not going to be amazing. But it should be decent. You can see it's active here. That's extra armor. That plus 50 armor goes, or is applied to, every slot of armor you have, so it's pretty powerful. Here's my Exalted stash. This can also be kind of along this top edge here. Eldritch Essence is pretty good. So I'm fairly happy about that. The blue item is complete rubbish, but you kind of expect that. Most blue items are not great anyway. There are a few that show up fairly regularly in my leveling videos, like the Mistwalker leggings. Actually, mostly boots and pants are the ones that show up fairly regularly. Mostly the pants for skill levels or huge armor values. Why am I killing this? I'm not going that way. Alright, level 59. Just straight into the bar. I think I'm going to save up 5 points just to hang on to them. But Otherwise, more points in physique is never a bad thing. Having said that, spirit is our damage scaling stat, so we could do that as well. Okay, you know what? I'm going to use an Aether Cluster. No, I'm not. I'm just going to fight him normally. So I'm going to walk up to him, dodge that, and now we're going to kill him. So all that cold bouncing around like that is the reason that so many of my Nightblades died. Because like I said, I would Shadow Strike straight into it. As soon as he sees you, he throws that out. And if you're right next to him, he hits you with, 2 or 3 of those projectiles, and then the projectiles split into 5 little other projectiles each, and so you're getting hit with like 10, 15 projectiles all in one go. And if you're coming out of Act 1 and you don't really understand resistances yet, then you're going to have a bad time. Okay, I've already got the Kandox Rift. We're actually going to go back to the Corvin Sands Rift, and we're going to go spelunking in the innards of a Sarlacc. So this little section here, there's the Corvin Sands Rift. We just run through here. There is a hidden zone, completely hidden. No one's ever found this zone before. And there's also the Fetten Mask. Now, in normal, the Fetten Mask is kind of rubbish. But in Elite and in Ultimate, if you come back to this exact same spot, you can get the Empowered or the Mythical Fetten Mask, and both of the Empowered and the Mythical version have +1 to all skills in all masteries. So if you don't know what helmet to use, if you're making your own build, Fetten Mask is kind of the baseline. If it's not better than the Fetten Mask, then you just use the Fetten Mask. Okay, this area is also really good if you're trying to get the kill 250,000 enemies, because every single one of these counts as a kill. Even so, you kill the big beetles and then they die and spawn in a bunch of maggots. So you kill 1 beetle and 5 maggots, so it counts as 6. And yes, these do count. And yes, I have checked. So if you're interested in getting that particular achievement, this place is really good to do it. Also, my little swirly boys disappeared for some reason. Probably when I unequipped a whole bunch of gear. Coming through here the first time, I would highly recommend having the Grim Tools map open, because there is lore notes in tiny piles of bones in here, and this is another section that has lore related to why and what happened around the Tomb of the Heretic. We are pretty much just here for the big ugly beetle at the bottom. So I guess I should kill a few more of these, but honestly, it's no big deal. They are pretty good XP, though. I'll give them that. Okay, we can skip forward a little bit. Is there anything down there that I can Shadow Strike to? Yes, there is. Alright, we have to kill Nurg. Why do we have to kill him? I don't know. He's there. He's got a star above his head. That's good enough for me. Alright, let's get out of here. So, the boss we're sent to kill is on this little floor here. He's probably coming on screen just over here somewhere. Maybe not quite yet, but he's over there. He's in this pool of goop. And that pool of digestive juices will try and digest you, so don't stand in it. So here's Gerblix the Digested. Same deal with him and that goop he put on the floor. That's actually pretty strong poison damage, so as soon as he dies, you want to get out of that. Here is the first seal of Morgoneth. I think if you actually follow the quest line as you're supposed to, I think this is the first one they send you to, which is why it's called the first seal. But it's actually second in order of kind of where you run into them. Right, so we have... I guess put that one over there. Part 2, or Part 1 and Part 2. Let's keep pushing on. Again, I'm coming just over here from the Docks Rift lore node in here. And then we head down. Now there is a little secret hidden area. If you walk under, I think it's this bridge, but there's a bridge up there that you can walk under and get sort of outside the map. And there's some loot, but it's not amazing, and it's a decent detour, so I'm going to skip it this time. As much as I do normally enjoy the hidden loot, I'm going to leave it this time. Unless I accidentally walk into it. It's down. It's not there. It's not that one. That's not it at all, but it's over that way somewhere. I think you walk under this bridge and then under this bridge and it's out there. Something like that. I'm actually here for the Dreig quest, actually, so we don't get the Dreig quest because we sided with Dismeal. But if you did have the Dreig quest, they would send you into this ruins, and they would ask you to kill the boss at the end. Sanctuary of Haron. This is, I'm pretty sure, a Diablo 2 reference. What was the Arcane Sanctuary? That had something to do with Haron, didn't it? Maybe I'm misremembering. It's been ages since I played D2. Even if it's not a reference, it's still good to remember the king. Okay, we'll pop this open. That's actually a decent amount of kind of scary looking bosses. No, take it back. They're not scary. More of the damned, I think, is poison caster offhand. I know it's a caster offhand. I think it's poison. Where is it? Oh, it's shield. Oh, wow. And it's vitality. Not even close. 2 for 2, 2 swings, 2 misses. Also, kind of cool how he's standing up against the wall there. Alright, Wayward Soul gets a level up, so now we're getting even more healing. Do we get more armor? We do indeed get more armor. Probably should have taken that a little bit earlier. But, I have got the plan for the devotions, but I haven't actually written out an optimized path for getting them. I probably should do that. Alright, this is what I'm in here for. This Desecrated Shrine. This is why I'm here. +1 Nightblade belt, please. I mean, or a pair of shoulders that I'm never going to use. That could work. Belgothian Carnage, I'm pretty sure it's piercing relic, but let's just take a second here and look at the loot. Belgothian's Carnage is a +1 Nightblade belt. Now we do have piercing damage. Do we have any piercing to cold conversion yet, or is that something I was looking at later? That might be a later thing. But that's a lot of cunning offensive ability. +1 to Nightblade is really, really good. And then the Carnage proc, it kind of doesn't matter. -1 second to all currently active skill cooldowns. I mean, we don't really have any long recast abilities, so I kind of don't care about that one. And we also picked up the Devil's Cage Hauberk, which is a pretty good general purpose chest piece. And yeah, I'm going to use that, actually. 6% physical resistance, really good. 1,000 armor, really good. The Devil's Cage, yeah, it's kind of okay. It's a damage proc. It's considerably better than that. Did that just uncap any of my resistances? I don't think so. Pierce is way over. Bleeding is actually 1%. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. I'm going to swap that in. And it is 10 levels out of date already. That's level 50. But it's also considerably better than the chest piece I'm currently wearing. And it is now, by far, my highest armor piece. So I'm pretty happy with that. It is out of date, but it's better. It's an upgrade. And now we have Aether. We'll take the Aether side first. I do need the Aether resistance more than I need the Chaos on the other side. The stun resistance would be nice, but not required. Right, let's go kill the boss. Now, this boss does, from memory, it's vitality damage. And it just kind of doesn't matter. This boss just exists and has a bunch of health. I've never had an issue with this boss, and if I hadn't done this fight yesterday on the Spellbreaker, I would just have no idea what it does. When I said vitality, just pretend I meant poison. Like I said, just completely irrelevant boss. I've never had any issues with that boss, ever. And it's a non-issue. It does, however, have some nice hidden loot in the walls. Leggings of the Imperial Storm. Okay, okay. Probably not. Probably not. No, I can't wear them because of resistances. Actually, can I? That's way over cap. I know Pierce is way over cap. Poison is also way over cap. The armor increases, who cares, but +2 to Knight's Chill is very, very nice. The elemental resist would be welcome. Losing +3 to Soul Harvest, later I'll care about that, but I don't have that skill at the moment. And getting a cold proc instead of... Yeah, we're going to hang on to those. I may not actually use them, but I am absolutely going to hang on to those, and if I don't have something better in 70% of a level, then yeah, I'm going to use those. Getting Knight's Chill up to 20 of 10 is pretty good. It's pretty important. Alright, next mission, get down there. I need to get Kanan's corpse. Let's actually drop a rift gate here. You probably can't see it in all that mess, but I did indeed put a personal rift down there, and we are going to head over this way. And then portal back to my personal rift. There we go, and we're going to head south instead. Kind of come up that way. Alright, anything to Shadow Strike to? Probably not really. What about you guys? Can I Shadow Strike to you? Nope. Alright, we're taking the scenic route. Going for a stroll. And I successfully found a dead end. Alright, here's the corpse you need. So from the Sunbane Oasis, you come down here and run back up. Also, when I came out of the Sanctuary of Haron, I could have just run around there as well, but, you know, whatever. This is what we're here for. Got the tome, so now we can transmute stuff, which, I mean, that's what we want the tome for, right? Okay, running through here, there is also, is it here? I think it's this one. Yeah, so where these guys are, there's a little hidden path off the map here, and there's a little bit of loot. There's also a hidden skeleton blacksmith over there. Dominators of Vitality, not so much. Stonehide of Ruin is pretty good. I don't know, eventually I'm going to get to the point where those gloves are a bit of a liability. So we'll see. We'll see. This is not bad. Stonehide is really good. Of Ruin is rubbish, but Stonehide's a really good prefix. Stonehide or Harmonious. Okay, get that lore note. Let's go kill Gunavakar. Why not? We're going to ignore those idiots. And I'll do the totem as well, but I'm going to kill Mr. Zumi here first. Yeah, that was really easy. The only other times I really pay attention to him is when I'm playing an acid dervish, and I'm pretty sure he's resistant to acid. In fact, I'd be shocked if he isn't. So I'm not used to him dying that quickly on a leveling character. Okay, Unholy Visage of the Covenant. Unfortunately not playing a Pet Necro. Or actually, that looks like it's an occultist thing there. Yeah, Pet Occultist. Alright, running out of room, but that's fine. We'll go get the third part of the seal, which is going to be in here, inside the Howling Chasm. big downside about the two MIs that I'm after in Forgotten Gods is they're both right on the back end. You'll be pretty much done with the entire expansion by the time you can farm the belt, and you'll be very close to done by the time you can get the shoulders as well. You can get the shoulders a fair bit earlier than the belts, but I guess you can get the belts on any of the totems or devotion shrines. But, let's actually walk across that instead of just staring at it. Pathfinding in this game, I swear. Frequent complaint by myself and everybody else. Here we go. Okay, so in the top left side of this area, there is this little hidden door. Now, you're very unlikely to find this unless you are deliberately looking for it, but maybe you notice the Howling Depths entrance up there. You just hug the left side, and when you get to this part, bash the wall down, and then we go in. So this is another area where there are lore notes in the piles of bones and stuff like that. And again, this is going to be another part of the story of you know, what happened after the Tomb of Night, or the Tomb of the Heretic, was sealed. So these lore notes, I'm pretty sure, are from the perspective of the head magi or the head person who sealed it, and he's basically taking the parts of the seal and spreading them all around the Corvin Basin and hiding them, and then killing everybody who went with him. So there you go. It's lore note series summarized. That's what's going on. But I do recommend coming through here with Grimtool's map open and just getting all of those lore notes, because it is pretty cool, in my not so very humble opinion. Alright, there is I wanted to say there was an Exalted stash in here. Pretty sure there is, but wasn't at the one place I know of. Is this lore note? Lore note? No, no lore note. I think this is the last area. We've got another Griffin boss at the end. Again, I'm really not expecting the Griffin boss to be particularly dangerous, but I don't know, maybe he's highly resistant to cold and I just haven't been here on a cold build. Who knows, we're going to kill him anyway. Okay, I think we're coming up to the last platform. Oh no, we're not even in the last area. How about that? That's alright, we can rush forward. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe those lore notes are not actually hidden in kind of out-of-the-way bodies in here. Seems like I'm finding all of them. Alright, here's Halanx the Forgotten. Again, he has his very own purple MI. We're not going to get it here, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's got like a... Does it even have a level 75 version? I don't know. He didn't drop it regardless. He did drop the third seal, which is pretty good. And then Tuha's letter. I'm pretty sure that was like a letter to his wife, who is basically saying like, I'm never going to see you again or whatever. Love you forever, bye. But yeah, we can actually have a quick look through those lore notes if you want. Here's page 1. Page 2. And Tuha's letter. Yeah, it is the letter to his wife. Or his romantic partner, at the very least. I haven't read them for a while, so could be wrong on the wife front. Okay, Sovereign Shield Blueprint. Relevant only because it means it can't drop again. Eastern Gloves, Alt Effigy. Yeah, none of this stuff is particularly exciting. Inventory is full. Is it? Is it really? Or are you just bad at Tetris in your inventory? You are bad at inventory Tetris. Okay, having said that though, inventory is pretty full. So we come out pretty much where we went back in. Now I do indeed have all 3 pieces of the seal. And you don't actually need to beat the expansion or anything else. You don't even have to have the quest. There is a quest associated with finding those 3 seals and getting into the tomb and getting the quest item from killing Morgoneth. You don't have to do any of that. You can just go get the seals and then walk into the dungeon, which is what I'm going to do. But, let's see if the cold doggy's here. I don't think he's going to be here. Doesn't look like it. Okay, that's fine. There is a boss out here. It's not Grimoire, it's the cold one. He could also spawn kind of down here, but I'm not going to run down there this time. I'm not really interested in anything he drops, aside from just in general. And actually, one thing I do need to check. Okay, so this is one of the first areas in Forgotten Gods that I know of. There could be some that I don't know of. But one of the first areas in Forgotten Gods where you can actually get semi-reliable spawns of gargoyles, which I was expecting on that little platform. So I'll just have a quick look over here. Probably will run into the big blue doggy. Nope, he'd be here if he was going to be here. Okay, so I just luck out on spawns this time. But this is one of the kind of semi-reliable locations just on this platform where you can get the gargoyles that will drop the +1 to Nightblade belt. They're pretty unlikely to drop it unless they are heroes, but you can get a hero spawn here. You can also get a totem in this area, which can spawn them as well. Generally speaking, though, I usually will end up getting my +1 to Nightblade or +1 to Oathkeeper, because they drop both of those. The belts for them will come from the Tomb of the Eldritch Sun. Alrighty, let's vendor all this stuff, and we've got some conversation pie to eat. What am I keeping? Keeping those pants. Maven's Hood can go, and I don't think I need any of this other stuff. Mistwalker leggings, like I said, these are pretty good pants that I do use in a lot of playthroughs. +2 to Maven Sphere, really good. +2 to Searing Light, pretty good. +2 to Ascension, really good. I mean, if you're playing most classes, you're going to get some use out of the skills, but even on something like this with no skill points, these are high armor, high physique, movement speed, physical resistance, aether resistance, elemental resistance on a pair of pants. These are pretty good. Now, I'm going to hang on to those because I want to kind of play with my gear a little bit after we're done here. But these are pretty good general purpose pants. I think the Mistwalker leggings are level 30 and the powered are 58. And the Mythical's probably 80 or 84 or something like that. But they're pretty good general purpose pants for most characters. What were those gloves? Eastern? So I do use those in a lot of builds. It's really tempting to chuck these on instead of the Ever-Living Grove. Similar levels of armor, percent armor for every other slot, 3 good resistances. The only downside, of course, is of Ruin is kind of bad. Okay, let's get rid of these. Blood Reaper's Claw, not for us. Ulzard's Channeler, One-Handed Scepter, that's... no. What about this ring? No. No. None of this is any good. The Fetten Mask, if you're not going to use it, and honestly, don't use the normal one. It's not very good. But if you're not going to use it, you can hang on to it for ults, or just vendor it like I just did. Okay, let's talk to Bysilla, and we will go do her quest. Wayward Soul, rank 3. More armor, more defensive ability, bigger heal. Also hit respected with Bysilla. And we got 3 quests in here. So 2 of them are the same you get every time. That being the... where are we? Preemptive Strike. So this is destroy the 3 conduits and then kill the boss in the middle. And then the Messenger, which is obviously to kill the Messenger. You get those no matter which cult you joined. But I think this seems like a good place to stop. We're already over the hour mark, so I'm going to end this episode here. So I'll just say thank you all very much for watching. Come back next time when we finish Forgotten Gods. And that'll be it for now. So thanks again. See you in the next one. And bye for now.